University of Muhammadiyah, Malang. First of all, let's thank Allah, the Almighty, who has been giving us mercy and blessing until we can attend to this meeting without any obstacles in this happy place and time. Secondly, salawat and salam with our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has brought us from the darkness to the lightness in this world, as well as in the next world. I'm Nabila Anggi, the Master of Ceremony for today's agenda. Dear participants, before we start today's event, let us begin by saying Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Next is the opening remark by the head of ELED, Dr. Jarum, M.Ed. So, Mr. Jarum, the screen is yours.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wa bihi nasta'inu ala umuri dunya waddin. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Allahumma shalli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama shallaita ala ali Ibrahim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala ali Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, Pak Rizki and Punina. I don't know what time in Seoul. What
it's
time?
3 p.m. now.
3 p.m. And Punina also 3 p.m.
5 p.m.
It's 5, Pak.
Oh, it's 5. Oh,
5. Okay.
So we have 2 hours different.
Okay, good. Sorry to disturb you, Pak Rizki and Punina. Actually, it is time for you for iftar war, is it? In Malang, maybe 2 hours later will be iftar war. Usually, Pak Prihati, ya. I don't know. You will also talk about iftar war. Maybe if there is so in Seoul and in Sydney, ya, Pak Rizki and Punina. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program. This is the second series actually, Pak Rizki and Punina. On the first, we were talking about Ramadan around the world with Pak Alimin and also Ibu Resti Miranda, yeah. And now is the second sessions. We plan to have the third sessions. It is special for UMPTN test tips, yeah, especially for students of SMA and STM, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this agenda is designed by English Department of University of Muhammadiyah Malang to give a kind of international exposure for students, both for students of English Department and also students of SMA and SMK, to give a different perspective related to Islam practice around the world. Today we are talking about Idul Fitri, and especially we are talking about interreligious tolerance. So we will give the audiences about the perspective of how religious tolerance happens around the world. So by joining the program, we hope that we have a broader perspective about Islam, a broader perspective about tolerance, and we can implement what we call as Islam Rahmatal Lil Alamin. So once again, welcome to Pak Rizki. Thank you very much, and welcome to Ibu Inayati. Thank you. We are waiting to hear from you about how you implement Islam and how Islam is implemented in Seoul and in Sydney. Thank you very much and enjoy the program. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Jarum, for your welcoming words. So without any further ado, let's move forward to our next agenda. The next agenda is a closer look at Eid al-Fitr and tolerance in Australia with ELED lecturer Nina Inayati, M.Ed. To Ma'am Nina, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Mbak Nabila.
Yes,
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, to the Honorable Pak Jarum and all the lecturers of ELED, all the students and committee, and all the participants. Thank you very much for having me. So my name is Nina, and I'm going to share my screen here. Can I share my screen? Yes, I can. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to share about Eid and also in general Islam in Sydney and how Muslims here practice Islam. And before that, I think a bit of introduction. Again, my name is Nina and I'm one of the lecturers in ELED. And currently I'm on a study leave because I'm doing my PhD, my S3 in the University of New South Wales, and it is located in Sydney, Australia. So I'm here with my family here. You see the picture there. It was last year, Idul Fitri. So after we did Salat Idul Fitri in campus, then we took the tram and went to the icon of Sydney. The icon of Sydney is that in the background, the Opera House. And we just did that because it was our first here in Sydney and our first time to experience Idul Fitri in Sydney. So we were like a bit norak back then. Okay. But then, yeah, I think it serves well as a good what is it, like a card, you can say, like e-card for Idul Fitri. So that's the thing that doesn't happen every year. So we took the opportunity. Okay. So that's one of the things that you can do when you're overseas. A bit of a quick quiz. So I'm going to throw a bit of trying to be more interactive with all the participants here. So if you're not ready with your fingers there, so please get ready. You can write your answer in the chat. So is Sydney the capital of Australia? Is it yes or no? Okay, yeah. I'm waiting for your answer there. Just yes or no, or A or B. It's up to you. No. Okay, that's really good. I'll go back to this in a few minutes. I'll just go to tell you about the outline, like the aspects of the things or the things that I want to tell you in this presentation. So for the next like 25 minutes, I'm going to talk about, basically it's all boiled down to Eid and Ramadan in Sydney. But before that, I'm going to give you a bit of the context about Islam in Sydney, Islam in Australia in general, maybe, and also how Muslims here practice Islam. Okay, before finally I get to the point of Ramadan and Eid, so you will have a bit of context there. We have a lot of answer, so thank you very much. No, mostly no. Okay, so I'm proud of all of you. Some of you even say the answer that it's Canberra, so correct, it's Canberra, right? So the capital Sydney looks like this, which I imagine that's how IKN is going to look maybe in the future, because Canberra is really so quiet. So a bit of a background. The big cities in Australia is Sydney and Melbourne, and the capital used to be fought between those two, ya, diperebutkan between those two big cities, and finally they put this in the middle, somewhere in the forest in the middle of Sydney and Melbourne. There was this place called Canberra, and okay, let's put it here. And so they built it there like 50 years ago, and now it's there. Up to now, it's still very quiet. So if you want a taste of IKN 10 years from now, then maybe you can go to Canberra these days. Anyway, thank you very much for participating. There will be more quizzes, so tune in everyone, yeah. Get ready to participate as well. So my first point, Islam in Sydney. Sydney is highly multicultural, and it's like international multiculturalism, because if you've tried visiting Jakarta, or if you tried visiting Bali, those are like the two most multicultural places in Indonesia, in my opinion. But in Sydney, the multiculturalism is like, it's like people from all over the world is there, and they're not there only for visiting, they're there for living and staying. So one of the data, like the statistic that I read in preparation for this is I read that more than 50%, so you see more than a half of the population, they were born overseas. They're not even born in Australia. And those that are born in Australia, maybe their parents were not born in Australia. Okay, so it's that multicultural. And among this multiculturalism, Islam is one color. Okay, so the Muslim population, it's quite small. So you see that when you see it relative to the whole population, it's 6%, 6.3%. But when you see the number itself, it's really big because it's thousands, like almost 3,500. And that's based on the census in 2021. So the Muslim population is really big here. I can say that it's quite big. Islam has been here for decades, for years and decades. And so with that number of population, also with the history, so I can feel that Sydney is very, very tolerant. It's very, very welcoming to not only to Islam, but anything, okay, just anything. They're welcome, they're very, very open. And so practicing Islam here, I think is quite not as easy as in Indonesia, but I would still say easy, okay? So the Muslim population in Sydney, they come from all around the world. For example, one of the biggest ones is from not Southeast Asia, the Middle East, like those from Saudi, Turkey, Lebanon, you see, those countries, those Muslim countries. And also from South Asia, the South Asians are like Pakistan or Bangladesh, India, and then from Southeast Asia as well, like Indonesia, Malaysia, some parts of Philippines, Myanmar, and Thailand as well. And Africa too, like Yemen, Egypt, Tunisia, Somalia, etc., etc. So even the Islam here, the Muslim population here is also very, very multicultural. So you can experience different types of Islam, and you can see how Islam is practiced differently based on the different cultures that they are from, okay? And it's a really good practice, I think, to make us more sensitive about differences so that we do not, I learn not to judge, okay? For example, if I see in campus that someone pray and then I can see like she's only wearing hijab, and I can see her hair, like really long hair under the hijab. And we don't say, no, cover your hair. No, we don't do that, okay? Because maybe that's how they practice it. And maybe it's different mazhab and everything, okay? So there are many backgrounds and we learn to respect each other as well. So that's a really beautiful tolerance here. I don't use the word tolerance really because it's like, it makes me feel like we have to tolerate Islam and like something, it's like we're bad. No, we don't. We're one of the color in Sydney and we're proud of it. Okay, so, but yeah, I think my point is that practicing Islam here, I think it's, they're very welcome. So it's not that challenging. It's quite easy. So Sydney is very welcoming here. So you see that considering that big population of Islam here, we even have our own MUI in Australia, which is called ANIC. So it's Australian National Imam Council. And it, again, consists of the imams or the ulama from many, many different cultures. Islamic culture, yeah. So with that background, everyone, so again, practicing Islam in Sydney, it's quite easy. There are many mosques. This one is the one that is like 30 minutes from my home driving. Okay, so it is a Turkey masjid. It's a mosque somewhere which we call it Gallipoli Mosque. And you see the masjid, even the masjid is very it's very open, it's big, and it's friendly. In one side of that, they have like a playground for kids to play. So it's quite common that public places, even masjid or church, they have playground because they want to welcome kids as well and families, yeah. Halal meats are everywhere, okay? I mean, it's not as easy as in Indonesia. You can compare it in Indonesia. It's still Muslim here is still a minority, but I think it's getting more and more accepted, and people are more and more open, because even the big or the major retailers here, I think in Indonesia the major retailers is like what is it? Yeah, like Superindo maybe, or what is it? Like those retailers in malls, yeah, where you shop for grocery shopping. We call it Kohl's and Woolies here. They even have this small section that is halal. But halal, again, halal is only one section, because in another section there maybe we have a kosher section, for example, which is like halal for the Jews, yeah. So you see, it's that multiculturalism, but they try to embrace everyone and everything they here. So whether you go to a halal butcher, usually there are some in what is it, in a communities where there are many Muslim there. But even in the major national retailers like these Kohl's and Woolworths here, when there are many Muslim community in that area, they usually consider opening these sections like this. And also halal restaurants as well. So this one is the one that is walking distance from my place. It's a Thai restaurant, and you can see that it's halal. So you see, it's there. You can imagine that among 20 restaurants, one or two will be halal. Okay, so it's not that difficult. It's not that easy as well, but it's not that difficult. Okay, so the options are like, I really want this, I really want noodle, but this halal restaurant in my suburb, they don't sell noodle, for example. So you see, but in Indonesia, or especially in Malang, then we'll have everything, and we don't really need to consider about whether this is halal, because, well, because of Islam is a majority there. And this one, for example, you see here, this is the one that I and my family attended to just last week. This is one of the big annual like festival here in Sydney, and it's like family festival. It's called Easter Show because the public holiday is Easter, but it's not like religious festival, not at all. Okay. So even in this big events like this, we were quite impressed to find a prayer room. Like the prayer room is it's a pop-up, like a pop-up musola, means that they just built a small section in the corner of their area, and they can use it for, and we can use it for praying. Well, actually, it's like for any religion to pray, but which other religion pray during the day? It's only Islam. So they built this for this. It's because of there are many Muslim community, and so they know that we need that, and they provide this for us. So yeah, they're very considerate. And then in campus, yeah, when you go to universities, in all universities that I know, you see, I've been in Australia. I have several experiences before I came to Sydney. So I lived in Adelaide, I lived in Melbourne as well. And in all universities that I know, they always have these religious centers. And Islam is always one of the biggest, because Islam is always like the Muslim population students. They're always one of the active members, because we need to pray 5 times a day. And so we usually have this specific place for Salat. So the musola, for example, this one is the musola in my university at the moment in UNSW. And what always makes me impressed in the musola here, in any university really, is the place for wudu, which I never find in Indonesia. Yeah, the place that is so clean and designed for wudu, just like this. So when we do wudu here, yeah, in the corner there, we are supposed to sit down, and it's really clean, and it looks so, I don't know, so Instagrammable, I think. Don't you think? Even the place for the wudu, I think it's so Instagrammable. The way I learn, I think, from my limited observation, is that when they decide to provide, they will go all out. Like they give you the best they can, okay? Consulting the like the right people. Okay, if we want to provide musala for you, then what is it that we can do? So they went all out with that. Oh yeah, we have also, they organize the Jumat prayer, like regular big day prayer. The weekly one is the Jumat, Salat Jumat, and then also for the Salat Idul Fitri and also Idul Adha as well. Yeah, and it's usually because the musalla is quite small, they will find a place that is big enough to cater everyone with a bigger number of people to do salat. Because you know, in Indonesia, the one who does Jumat prayer is usually only the men. But here, it's not only men, okay? Some people with different mazhab, for example, the South Asian Muslims, it's the whole family, like men and women, they do Salat Jumat. We have also, they're open to organize anything related to religious activities that is held by the students and also the students' family. So in campus, for example, we have TPA, you know, the Taman Pengajian Anak-anak. Yeah, for kids, and it's usually held every Saturday. So just now, like an hour before now, I just took my kids to the TPA in campus as well. And there is also regular teachings like you know, discussions, pengajian, you see this kind of things, yeah, that is held there for sisters or for brothers, for example. And even in campus, they also provide halal restaurants as well, halal options for food. Okay, so it's quite friendly. And although it's really friendly, I think I give you a picture of how friendly it is, Muslim, Sydney, as well as the campus here in Australia to Islam. There are also challenges, yeah, because coming from Indonesia, where Islam is like the majority, I still find like, you know, I live like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, like maybe 100 meters from masjid in Malang, for example. Even my kids go to masjid by themselves when they were still 4 years old. So it was that close. It was really convenient. But here we have only very, very limited praying venues. For example, in UNSW, it's a big campus, it's a big university. We have 2, which is like in one corner and the other corner. And when my office is in the middle, then I have to walk 10 minutes just to get there, going up and down the hill. You see this kind of things, yeah. And we hear no adhan because I think in many other countries or in many other developed countries, they almost always have this noise regulation, and that applies not only to adhan but also to other aspects. So they have this regulation about noise, that if you make any noise, then make sure you can keep it to yourself or your community. Okay, so if you go to masjid or musala, they play adhan and you can hear it inside the masjid only, okay, not outside. So you cannot make any noise that would disturb the neighbor. Okay, so adhan is also considered that kind of noise. So we don't hear adhan unless we are in masjid. And the halal food options, it's also quite limited. So I told you that I have like maybe 10 minutes walking distance from my house. But again, it's like from 30 restaurants and I have only 1 or 2 options really. So it's quite limited as well. And another thing that I experience only when I'm outside Indonesia is this one, yeah, insecurity feeling, especially after major incidents related to involving Islam, which not necessarily happen in Sydney or in next to my house, for example. I remember like a few years ago, there was this incident about happening in London about this attack by Muslims. Somebody still remember? It was also like there was a sense of alertness everywhere here among the Muslim community. So when you are a minority, that's what happened. Like once in a while, you may hear someone experiencing like someone's calling them name in the public places, or someone like saying things that, you know, that is not really, that's quite impolite to Muslims, especially when we show our identity through hijab, for example, like me, I go everywhere wearing hijab, then they can identify, oh, she's Muslim. So you see this kind of things, yeah, it makes us feeling insecure. And then especially during Ramadan or Idul Fitri, it can feel lonely at times, okay, because of lack of the festivity that we feel compared to what we have in Indonesia. So you see that we fast, we don't eat and drink, but everyone around us they're like oblivious. They don't understand, so they will just eat and invite us to have a coffee or things like that. Okay, things that would not otherwise happen in a Muslim majority country like Indonesia. So that's the context. And Ramadan in Sydney, I think it's getting more and more open and more welcome as well, because you see, you need to go a bit further maybe to find the masjid or place to do tarawih, for example. But again, it's getting more and more welcome. For example, just this year, I learned that tarawih is also organized in some nights in a place called Martin Place here, and this is like one of the alun-alun, okay, in Sydney. So one of the center of the entertainment center in Sydney. So it's a big place there, and tarawih is organized there, and I was quite amazed. Wow, really? So it's I think it's following what they have in the USA there, where they have tarawih in New York Square, I think. And I think it was fueled also by what happened in Gaza, with those uprising. And then in Sydney, there is also annual Ramadan festivals in the Sydney, Greater Sydney area. We have two, one in Lakemba and one in Liverpool. Lakemba is one of the center where there are many, one of the suburbs where there are many people from Middle East. So it's like Kampung Arab if it is in Malang, okay, which is why you have a lot of Muslim community there, and also in Liverpool. So you can see it's like, if Pak Jarum mentioned about the Takjil war, then it's happening there, okay. Some people even joke that it's not in Sydney, but it's in Middle East, okay. So that's what we have. It's called Ramadan Night Lakemba, and this is just this year, yeah. This is their logo this year. It's annual. Every Ramadan, every night, you have this takjil war here. And all the foods there are halal, so that's what's exciting about these Ramadan festivals. And then we have also Ramadan in campus. So every night as well in campus, the organization here in UNSW is called Islamic Society of UNSW, ISOC. And ISOC, every year also they organize this Ramadan night, and every weekend starting from Friday, Saturday and Sunday, they would organize this free iftar dinner in collaboration with many Muslim communities in UNSW. So for example, the Indonesian Muslim community, here we are called KPII, yeah, Komunitas Pelajar Islam Indonesia. Okay, so we also get to organize our free iftar dinner, where we would like invite people to donate and cook, and you see all Indonesian food, and then we would provide it free for everyone who attend the iftar dinner as well as taraweh on this date. And then the next day is going to be another Islam community, and the next day is going to be Islam community. So that way we can feel the festivity of Ramadan and also Eid. They also even organize like this, yeah, like Itikaf or Qiyamul Lail, prayer for Gaza. This is also like a few weeks ago. So you can feel that Islam is here and it's alive here, yeah. And this is before Idul Fitri, before we go to Idul Fitri in Sydney. Here, quick quiz again. This is how we say Selamat Idul Fitri in Indonesia, and it's very common, yeah. It's very cultural as well. How do you say this in English, everyone? Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri 1445 Hijriah. Mohon maaf lahir dan batin. So Indonesia, right? So again, I invite you to write your answer in the chat. Okay. And I'll come back here. So if you're thinking about your answer, yes, you can. If you want to ask ChatGPT, it's up to you. Okay. So just this, yeah. Write your answer. How do you say Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri 1445 Hijriah? Mohon maaf lahir dan batin. Okay. I see one answer already, but I'm going back to that quiz. Okay, I'll check the chat later. I hope there will be many who participate and write your answer. And I'm going to share about the Eid in campus. So this is my experience last year. I told you that last year it was my first year here as a student. Me and my family, we experienced Salat Idul Fitri here. And we chose to do the Salat Idul Fitri on campus because that was the closest to our house. We didn't have any car, so we had to walk there. But there are other options as well. If we want to go further away, like taking the public transport, but you know that it's really early in the morning, so we chose the one that is closest to our house. And it was quite cold as well because it was autumn that is closer to winter. Anyway, usually when we do the Salat Eid here, right after the Idul Fitri, then outside the organizers, they also in collaboration with the communities, they prepare anything that would add the festivities. So for example, they would prepare freebies, food, treats, especially for kids, balloon, hampers, etc. So the kids especially, they can enjoy, and also the adults. It's usually simple, you know, not like curry, etc. Yeah, but it's more like specialty like Arabic tea or Egyptian coffee, or you know, their treats. So sweets, snacks and food that they have, and it's usually free. Everyone can take it. But then that's all, because then after that, everyone needs to go to work. Okay, the kids still go to school. Then the festivity is usually, they need to wait maybe until the evening or maybe until the weekend after that. Okay, but at least we have something there, yeah, to mark the big day, and our kids would still be able to remember it and make memory out of it. So yeah, after that, then this is what we usually do. So there will be open houses in Indonesian communities, like people would invite other families. So we'll have the Eid open house, please come to my house. But it is by invitation, okay? So unlike the difference between what we have in Indonesia is that you can just come anytime, okay? It's like compulsory open house for everyone, okay? So you cannot choose. And you need to you can come anytime, like during Idul Fitri, all houses are open. But with this one, it's organized like this. So if, for example, two people would invite their friends with each other and would invite each other, then they need to arrange a good time, because then they have a lot of mutual friends. Then okay, then maybe I'll do it in this day and you do it tomorrow, or maybe I'll do it in the lunchtime and you can do it during dinner time. So you see this kind of things, yeah. And there is also sometimes, or I think it's almost all the time, yeah, Eid parties in Indonesian communities, like in mosques, also in embassy, KJRI, semacam itu ya. They also organize Eid parties like the one that we have here. This one is actually Eid, but I just noticed that it has happy birthday there. It's because the kid in that family just had a birthday a few days before. Across in non Indonesian Muslims, yeah, across the Greater Sydney areas, it looks like this. Okay, so there's usually festivals like this. Okay, and there will be rides and food, and you know, because it's festival and it's all of them are halal, and yeah, it's mostly paid. So again, it's just to add festivity so that families and all Muslims can enjoy the festivity of Eid. So it's a bit different because I don't think we find it in Indonesia. In Indonesia, it's mostly family time, but here it's festival time, like holiday. Another thing that is Australia is barbecue, I think, because Australian people love barbecuing. So in all of their holidays, they would usually has this form, including in Eid holiday, not holiday, in during Eid. Then one of the parties is usually take the forms of barbecue. Barbecue is just you just have this marinated meat, and then you go somewhere in a park, and then you just barbecue the meat together. So not like the Korean barbecue, okay, but it's more like the outdoor park barbecue. And yeah, that's all. I think that's all my PowerPoints. So let's go back here. I have several answers, I believe. Happy Eid Mubarak. Happy Eid al-Fitr. Yes, okay. Is there any special food or cookies during Eid Mubarak? Yeah, let's discuss about that later. Happy Eid Mubarak. Yes. Okay, so it's a bit different, isn't it? Yeah, there is no mohon maaf lahir dan batin. Okay, so it's the same. What a fun here. Okay, so we usually say in international context, then we usually say Eid Mubarak. Okay, even the non-Muslims, they understand this, or the non-Muslims who knows, I guess. Yes, not all the non-Muslim. I remember that last year after we did Salat Eid, and then we also took photos. I and my family, we took photos on campus as well. And some random people passers-by, yeah, they would just say Eid Mubarak. Okay, and I know that they are non-Muslim. So they would say that. So this one is equal to Merry Christmas, maybe, yeah. Here, the one that is more common. But if you want to have it longer and you want to say to your Muslim friends coming from non-Indonesia, then you can also say this, like Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. Yeah, to replace the mohon maaf lahir dan batin. It does not exactly translate as mohon maaf lahir dan batin, but that's what we usually say, okay, among Muslims, and we would understand, oh, this is our prayers, so that hopefully Allah will accept all of our deeds during Ramadan, right? And the next one is this one. If you want to be more creative, then you can just say whatever wishes that you have, okay, and you want, and yeah, you can be free about this, okay. This one I just took from Google. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for participating. I'll see you in Sydney, hopefully. I mean, okay. And yeah, I'll wait for a question later on. Thank you, Mbak Nabila. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Nina. Let's give applause or give your reaction to Ma'am Nina. Okay, see you in Sydney too, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Nina, for the interesting information about Ramadan in Sydney. And the most interesting for me is about pop-up musola for those who need to prayer in the day, and also about the Eid Fitr, about the open house, because they have like more arrangement than Indonesia. I think that's the most interesting in Sydney. Okay. For the participants, you can keep your question, and we will have the question and answer after the session for Mr. Rizki. Okay, thank you so much for Ma'am Nina. So the next session is from Mr. Rizki Lestiono, M.A. We will have a closer look to Eid al-Fitr and tolerance in South Korea. And so for Mr. Rizki, the screen is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Nabila, the Master of Ceremony, and also the distinguished head of the department, English Language Education Department, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, University of Muhammadiyah Malang, all the lecturers attending this event, and also all the staffs and committee for organizing this. I would like to also say hi to students, senior high school or high school students, students of University of Muhammadiyah Malang, and also students from Polynema. I guess I noticed so many students also from State Polytechnic of Malang. They are like the students of our former colleague, Mas Eka. I think Mas Eka is also here, and students in Polynema are taking the course, if I'm not mistaken, it's a cross-cultural understanding, or yeah. things related to culture. Now, I've already transitioned from my laptop to my cell phone. I'm the only one here in this room, so I could like give you like brief informations about Itaewon. Now I'm in Itaewon, Seoul, and it took me around an hour to reach this area. And this is the only area with Muslim civilizations or peradaban Muslim with Muslim civilizations, and Muslim civilizations in South Korea started in 1976. It was like during the very first collaborations between the Republic of South Korea and Saudi Arabia. So there is a grand mosque here, the only grand mosque in Seoul, that is called Seoul Central Mosque. We're going there in about a couple minutes. But Itaewon, if you were browsing the information on Google or ChatGPT, then you will find the information that Itaewon is multicultural area plus vibrant nightlife. So it's a kind of disclaimer on our way to the Seoul Central Mosque. It's uphill, so I'm going like to walk slowly because I need to like little bit hiking. You will see so many bars, clubs, or nightclubs. And those nightclubs are not only catering a certain gender, but also for various genders. So there are some clubs for lesbians, specifically for lesbian. There are also some clubs for bisexuals, transgender, he or she, and also for gay and the other LGBT. So we're like living like together, side by side. On our way to the mosque, I'm showing you around. You might capture some of the scenes of pubs. I'll show you later, and also some halal marts, halal supermarkets, or in between those clubs. I do not know whether we should call it like tolerance, but if you are in Indonesia as Indonesian Muslim, then if we are living among those kind of like community, then we might say, if we do not warn them about dignity, virtue amidst the vice that we think is around, it might be called as ignorance. In fact, here we're living like together and we call it tolerance. So I now believe in one of the verse like lakum dinukum waliyadin. So your religion belongs to you and my religion belongs to me. But the interesting part about South Korea is we don't have, most of people here don't embrace any religion. So we need to underline, even like most of my classmates, if you're talking about religion, they say they don't embrace any religion. They are, in English, we call it like atheists. Atheist, I think that's the pronunciation, right? Atheist or atheist in Bahasa Indonesia. And some of my friends are also like agnostic. You can like find the difference between atheist and agnostic through browsing. So it's a bit difficult for me to explain the concept of Ramadan, especially they don't even have like religion, let alone like practicing fasting like what I'm doing. So here we go. I'm going to go downstairs and turn the camera. So, right. And we will end our trip in the Seoul Grand Mosque and see that there is no takjil war here. So I really miss fritters, gorengan, all kinds of ice, macam-macam es. So I miss that one so much. Okay, wait. Yeah, I'm changing the camera. Right. So I'm going to like walk slowly. So you can still like catch my voice. And Nabila, please tell me if you find like troubles with my voice. So upstairs it's a study cafe. And downstairs, it's still closed. This is the first pub. So it will be open by midnight when the cafe is closed. So it's called like Bedlam. I'm gonna feel, yeah. So this is like the major area of Itaewon. Itaewon is an old town. So you can see like the constructions are mostly still very traditional. And this is the very iconic T junction of Itaewon. And underground is Itaewon Yok, Itaewon Station. All right. It will be like really crowded after 11 p.m. Okay. And all the locations of the bars are behind that Hamilton Hotel. That's where the incident last 2 years happened. Okay, so we are walking through the old town of Itaewon. And as you can see, it's like a blending of lots of cultures. And that's one of my favorite kebab, halal kebab restaurants. It's called Troy Kebab. And we've got one Indonesian restaurant there. The only one, Indonesian restaurant around this area called Bakso Rindu Kampung. Okay, so I'm walking now. As you can see, I told you earlier that this is like the old town. That's why you can see like so many hanging wires. It's like in Kyoto, Japan, and some other like old civilizations. But there is also like another newer civilizations. And here so many, it's like a tourist area at night. So it will be like really crowded with nightlife clubbers. Okay. So yeah. Right. So if you can see like this is like a gypsy bar. And on the way to the mosque, I'm sure like some of you have watched one of the very popular K-drama, Itaewon Class. Do you know Itaewon Class? Did anyone here watch Itaewon Class?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mr.
okay.
Rizky.
So yeah, this is the shooting location of Itaewon Class. So the mosque is actually walking that way, but it says a bonus for you. If you remember one of the scenes of Park Seo-joon, so he's there. And that's the house of Park Seo-joon in the movie, dated back in 2020, right? So it was like the major hit here as well. And yeah, right, so yeah. This is very quiet here during the day because most of the people are out during the night, especially after 10 p.m. Right. So just capture the scene. Sorry, just capture the screen, and later you can Google and find Itaewon Class shooting location. Then Park Seo-joon was like climbing this stair. I've made a collage of my photo with a similar long coat, brown coat here exactly. So yeah, this is Itaewon, actually Itaewon guest house. Right, so we are now walking back to reach the mosque. Okay, so that is the church. The orange ones is the church. That's why it's called like tolerance, because like we are living side by side with different religions and also different cultures. Okay, yeah. And on that corner, the black one is actually bar. Okay, as you can see here, right, on the corner, the red one, you can read the writing, it's transgender red. So this is one of the bar for tranny or transgender, and it will be like really crowded at night. So if I'm walking to the mosque, then I will be like surrounded by various kinds of people with various kinds of sexual orientations and the way they enjoy their happy life. So it is this quiet because this is like a nightlife area. Okay, so it's just like it's very quiet area. Okay, the drugstore is here, and this is like Korean barbecue. If I'm not mistaken, Miss Nina will be visiting me this year. So Nina, I'll bring you also to this area. Okay, so this is also like the main street with cafes, halal restaurants, and also halal marts. Okay, yeah. Going to cross the street, show you around. This is the first national food mart. So this is selling halal stuff. And that was also the second one that I visited. Yesterday I also went here for Friday prayer and I did some shopping there in the foreign mart. And this is King Club. It is a gay club and it will be open at 11. And this is the foreign mart. And that's the gym sport. It's the bar, only like for gym goers. So the bartender will be like bodybuilder. And over there, most of the bars are for queen. It's called Queen Soul. It's for drag queen. Okay. These are all bars area and halal mart. Okay. It's pretty complete. I can also find like halal meat here in this area. And yeah, it's still around 5 minutes to arrive at the mosque. So bear with me. These are all like bars at night. And this is, I think this is new one. And it's called Amor Trans Bar. It's for also transgender. So this is actually like Muslim area, but in a mixture with other, yeah, fun. And that's one of the famous restaurants. And here, just in front of our transgender bar, we have halal. So is it a kind of ignorance? But here we call it like tolerance. This is halal food pizza. It's Malaysian. It's Malaysian Itaewon kitchen. Yeah, it's mostly Malaysian dish. Yes, once you're arriving here, then this is also a nice place to try halal food. So you can see like a Muslim women. Yeah, so the mosque is there. At the top, you can see that tower, the white tower that's at the corner, at the edge of the street. And this is Indonesian restaurant, the only one in this area. It's called Siti Sarah, Indonesian and Greek. Yes, I think that's the flag of Greece, Greek and Indonesian restaurants. And the owner is an Indonesian, so she can speak Bahasa. It's spring here. The flowers are blooming. And here are the areas of travel agents. So if you're planning to go for Umrah or Hajj from here, but of course it's after your stay here for 1 year, then you can go for Hajj from here. And if you watch the TikTok of Korean Muslim, then there is a content about one of the halal restaurants called Eid. So Eid, like Eid al-Fitr. So this is also one of the halal, but they're selling all Korean food. Yeah, like samgyetang and everything here, with halal restaurants. Okay. So this area are mostly for Muslim civilizations, Turkish caravan with halal logo there, and also Muslim food. So yeah, if you were planning to visit Seoul, then you should go here to Itaewon for like praying and also enjoying some halal foods. Okay, right. Ms. Nina mentioned halal butcher, so for halal meat, and this is one of the popular halal meat and poultry place that I often visited. It's Al Baraka. I think they just like loaded some items because it will be like crowded in the evening after iftar. See, halal meat and poultry. It's also for chicken. Yeah, Korean call it chicken. Chicken. Okay, so we almost arrived, and it's one of the newly built school, like madrasah for kids, and yeah, like travel agents are mostly here. And there is no, as you can see, there is no takjil seller. In fact, it's in the afternoon. And the only food stall selling snacks are actually here. It's called Manis Kitchen, but it's not open yet. I think it will be open after 5 or 6. They are like selling fritters, if you know, gimari, tteokbokki. Yeah, so it's here, but it is Korean halal snack bar. Yeah. Okay, now we arrive in the Seoul Central Mosque, and this is the gate. It's going to be very quiet. Okay, so this is the main gate of Seoul Central Mosque that was established, that was built, and the Muslim society was established in 1976. And the land was given by the former presidents of South Korea, but the funding for the construction was donation from Saudi Arabia and some Middle East countries. Okay, let's get it. But they are about to change the entrance. We are like open donation. Okay, here we go. So it's like way to heaven. We have to climb, hike. And this is a Prince Sultan school. It's like for Muslim schools. Ooh, yeah, there are many kids. Right, okay. So this is Seoul Central Mosque. If you follow Ayana, one of celebgram from Korea, she's a Muslim lady, Ayana. She also did several content here. She also donated 40 prayer rope, mukena here. And yeah, that's the library and also for schools for kids. And this is on the top of the hill in Itaewon area. If I walk like a bit here, then you can see like Seoul City from the top. Okay, that's Han River, Hangang or Han River. And I don't know whether you can see it from your laptop screen. You can also see Lotte Tower, the tallest building in Seoul. So it's really beautiful for night view because we can also see Han River from here. It's just like by the river. Okay, so this is the mosque area, and I'm sure you wanna see how the main interior looks like. Okay, yeah, I think they just finished madrasa. Okay, but we have like a separate place for male and female. The main hall is only for male prayers, but for the female prayers, it's here on the right side. Yeah, we have like spatial space for women's women's prayer room. And what is unique is that the place for ablution or wudu, the restroom, is separated. So it's just there next to Baraka Cafe. So I also like work on my dissertation here and waiting for like Asar prayer, Maghrib prayer. So yeah, this is one of my favorite place to work. And on the basement is the place for ablutions or wudu. I'm checking if you can see Namsan Tower from here. Hopefully, yes, it's somewhere right around here. It's like big area, and we do eat prayer here. So it's not only like inside, but occupying all the parking lots. Yeah, I'm checking what we can see from here. Yeah. Okay, cannot see like Namsan Tower. I think it's blocked by that Grand Hyatt Hotel. Right, so this is like one of very strategic location for Muslim because it's in the heart of Seoul. It's really iconic. Okay, and now it's 4 p.m. Asar prayer will be at 4:15. So right after this sessions, I will do Asar prayer here before meeting my friend in another place for iftar. Okay, let's check the interior part of the Seoul Grand Mosque because it's only accessible for male prayers. So like female prayers, you can see from downstairs, from the basement, yeah, from the LED screen. Yeah, so it's like, Allahu Akbar. I really hope that someday you can take picture here, stand with the view of Seoul City. Can you imagine how beautiful it will look like at night? Okay, while inside, I will stop talking. So I will just like show you the interior part. I'm opening my shoes. Yep. A bit shaking. Assalamualaikum. This is the interior. That's the minbar where the imam is delivering sermon or khutbah for Friday prayer. So this place is not sufficient for even male prayers, but we also prepare downstairs for male prayers. Okay. It looks pretty much alike Sultan Mosque in Singapore, I think because the architecture is following Saudi Arabian style. Okay, now I'm going to downstairs. So, you know, if you don't get a space here for praying, then you have to use the basement for praying. Yeah, this is one of the iconic place for photo taking because it's the stairs and yeah, with the icon Allah Akbar. Okay, so you can see, I can sense. Oh, so there is like a coffee truck. It's in Indonesia, right? Wardah, sponsored by Wardah. I have to try this coffee. Teruskan langkah baikmu. So we have like very strong relationship with Indonesian Muslims. Teruskan langkah baikmu from Indonesia. So Wardah has like a pop-up coffee. I think it's for iftar later. Oh, I should have missed. This is men's prayer, huh? For the basement. So I prayed here yesterday because I didn't get space upstairs. It's like the modern one. Oh, there will be an event. Quran recitation competition. Here we have KMF, Korea Muslim Federations. It's like MUI. So KMF is Korea Muslim Federation. So this is the place where I prayed Jum'ah yesterday. Exactly, I was here. Because there are around 400 Muslim attending Friday prayer. Okay, and yes, that's Prince Sultan bin Abdul Aziz Al Said School and Seoul. So if you're planning to study here for your master, for your PhD, and you're married, having kids, then you can send your kids to study here in Prince Sultan bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud School, Seoul. It's nice. The architecture is like old but really iconic. And what is so amazing is that it's located in the center of Seoul, in which Muslim is minority. Okay, I'm going to find a place to sit and ready for question and answer session. Just ask me anything. Hopefully I can answer. Yeah, I'm giving back to Nabila.
Okay, wow, it's really excited for us because Mr. Rizki invite us walking virtually around the Itaewon and until the Seoul Central Mosque.
Yeah,
It feel
Nabila,
like,
can you see
yes,
the sun behind
yes,
Allahu Akbar? It's
yeah,
really
it's really
amazing.
shining.
Yeah, it's really like shining.
Wow,
Perfect timing. I think it's a blessing. So everyone watching this video will be standing someday there, taking photos in 4 different seasons, covered with snow. Cherry blossoms are on my back. And yeah, in 4 different seasons, you have to go here for taking different photos. Okay, yeah, Nabila.
yes. Okay, Mr. Rizky. Yeah, I'm still like speechless because before we only see those places only in Korean drama, but right now we can see Mr. Rizky walking like a vlogger.
I'm trying like to be as stable as I could because I'm walking and I'm not using gimbal.
Okay,
Okay, right.
it's really good. Okay, after we have amazing closer look from Ma'am Nina from Sydney and also Mr. Rizky from Itaewon, Seoul. Now we jump to the question and answer session. The Q&A session will be delivered in 15 minutes. For the participants who have questions, you can raise your hand or write your question in the chat box. You can use English or mixed languages with Bahasa. Okay, for the participants who have questions, you can raise your hand.
I think I saw a chat. I think it was directed
Okay.
from
Oh,
Sorry, I
Inayati
didn't
something
notice
there.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at the chat. Is there any special food or cookies during Eid Mubarak? I think we can answer that together, Pak Rizki. But
Yes.
in Sydney, we're going back to where we are from, I think, basically. So if we are from Indonesia, then we go back home after Eid, and then we will cook special Indonesian food. But if you are invited by a Bangladeshi friend, then you are going to enjoy Bangladeshi food in their house. So it's like that. So it's going back there. How about in Korea? What is it?
In Korea, there is no special food. So I really missed nastar, kastengel. I haven't eaten all of those for 3 years.
Oh my.
So yeah,
Okay.
and also like fritters, risol, and everything are not here.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, so you're lucky to be in Indonesia
Come
and
to
try all of those
Sydney.
food.
Come to
But
Sydney.
you should also experience living here, in which you can like tolerate many things and try to adapt to the
Enjoy many
existence.
things.
Yeah, enjoying many things, trying out many things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even I experienced when I was in Adelaide, I missed that, and I remember, oh my God, I missed that, and it was really like a different feeling. I mean, compared to when I move in Sydney now, and I can see like approaching Ramadan, there is people Indonesian shops selling nastar with risal, and I don't get to miss those thing anymore here. That's how I feel.
I can hear ashar azan or prayer call, but it's not through speaker. It's on the inside of the mosque. Even though the mosque is big, but people around and the vicinities in the neighborhood, they're not supposed to hear the sound. So yeah, I think it's pretty similar. So I also really miss like azan prayer. Okay, yeah. The other question.
Okay, we have the other question from Ali Foni Firdaus. You can turn on your mic. Okay.
Sorry.
You can turn on your camera too. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I know him. He used to be my friend last year in Seoul.
Used to be.
I don't think that you need to ask any question because you know everything. He's back in Indonesia. Okay, very short.
Okay,
He's back in Indonesian.
I miss Rizki so much.
Did we go here together, right, for praying?
Yeah.
Okay.
We took the picture.
Oh, yes, I took a picture of you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Very quick question, and give the chance to other friends.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Huh? Oh, just want to say hi.
Hi.
Yeah. He used to study in Korea like last year. He's back now in Indonesia already.
We do have questions in the chat, Pak Rizky.
Okay.
It's difficult for me to read. Yeah.
Okay, let me read for the question from Sabitah Maritza. How does it feel the Eid al-Fitr in Seoul? Is there any challenges that happen with Mr. Rizky during Ramadan this year?
Okay, so Ramadan this year, it's like the end of winter, so it's cold. I do not feel thirsty, but I feel hungry. So that's the only challenge. Because when it's like super cold, you cannot bear hunger. So that's the main challenge. And yeah, that's the only thing. But yeah, it's better to feel hungry than thirsty actually, because when you're thirsty, you cannot like concentrate because you feel dehydrated. But if you're hungry, then yeah, you can still like bear it. And there is also another question from Muhammad Mumtaz.
Yeah,
do you mind to tell me your story?
Direct message. That's why Nabila cannot see it. So do you mind the story how you get a scholarship?
All right. Okay. So for those of you who are here, if you want to get like scholarship to study in Korea, we have JKS. Just Google it. GKS, a Global Korean Scholarship. The scholarship is covering like 3 education level for the tertiary level, undergraduate. I think GKS is one of the unique scholarship because it also covers your 5-year study for bachelor. Buat adik-adik yang masih SMA, buka aja di website Global Korean Scholarship. you can study here 4 years for your undergraduate, 4 tahun ya, plus 1 year. So you will be fully funded here for 5 years. One year, the beginning, is going to be like Korean language class, and then the other 4 years will be for your major, and also for master and PhD. So yeah, just hit your Google and find the information about Global Korea Scholarship, GKS. And it's open. I think it's just like closed this April. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, well, Mumtaz also
Yeah.
direct the questions to me too. So I guess for everyone who are interested to pursue further study in Sydney, I guess the biggest funder is going to be LPDP, and LPDP, in my opinion, is one of the most generous scholarships. So you have one of the biggest, yeah, in stipend. Jadi apa uang sakunya, that's like one of the biggest there. So fight for it. That's like from our parents, and our parents are sending you everywhere. So you can do that even, I think, from now since S1, but I think it's very, very competitive unless you have like international championship somewhere. I think it's quite challenging. But I think for the master, after you finish ELED, you're studying ELED, for example. Yeah, okay. So in ELED, you see everyone, because in ELED, there are many opportunities for international what is it, like communities which will help you if you are interested to go international. Yeah, so you can start there, and then you can do your master after that with LPDP or with AAS. AAS is from the Australian government, so it's a big opportunity there, and it's there for you. You don't need to pay anything really, especially if you're single. Okay. I mean, compared to me, because I have to bring my family, so it's a different case. If you're single, you just bring yourself, that's all, and your hard work and your attitude to hard work as well. Okay? You don't have to be a rocket science or super intelligence to have a scholarship. You just need resilience and hard work. Okay. Okay. So, well, I'll wait for you in Sydney. Okay.
All right.
Okay, for the next question from Ahmad Radiansyah. How was both of your experiences when first visiting its respective country? Me from Mem Nina first.
Me? Oh, okay. Well, when I first visited Australia, it was like 10 years ago. So I faintly remember. I still remember clearly, yeah, not faintly. I don't forget, because I was so excited, nervous, and so excited because okay, I'm going to be here. It's a big step for me, and it's going to be years. I mean, previously I joined like a student exchange program, which was like 1 month, but then it was 2 years. And it's like, oh wow, that's a big step. So I was nervous. I wear hijab, and I was concerned as well, because I thought that what if they don't welcome me? And it didn't happen. I mean, in my personal experience, I never ever experienced like people shouting just because I'm wearing hijab. You see, it never happened to me. I heard it happened to a few friends that I know, like friend of a friend. You see this kind of things, especially after uprisings, the one that I told you, like what happened in France, like the other day, there was this, bombing related to, after a global incidents like that. That's why I shared earlier that it makes me or other community, Muslim community feel. But other than that, it's all welcoming. It's all relatively good experience here. Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. Oh, my very first like abroad experience, overseas experience, was when I did my master in the Netherlands, in di Belanda. So it was like a lot. It was a lot tougher than living here. Here, like the food's still like okay for me, because it's still Asian. But back then in the Netherlands, it was all bread. So I was like shocked at that time, but I enjoyed my journey because that's what I chose. So just enjoying every moment because you're applying for it. So go for it. That's the only thing that I can tell you about my very first experience, like living abroad. If you're applying for it, then go for it. Nabila?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Nina and Mr. Rizky. I think I saw participants who raised the hand from Masha. Okay, Mancha, 22. Okay, for Mancha, you can turn on your camera and your mic.
Before it, I'm sorry, I got a bit problem with my camera and
Okay.
it's
Sure.
working right now. And so I use the voiceover only. Well, before I start, am I supposed to introduce myself first or don't need?
Yeah, very quick. Your name and where you are from.
Okay. My name is Amantia, and now I'm studying at University of Muhammadiyah Malang. I'm second semester, and I took international relation in class C.
Ah,
So just go ahead for the question. My question is, what's the majority religion in your in the Korea or in the Australian and in you're currently reside, and also did you get any kind of, how did you get used to live in the, we can say it like, new environment with multicultural? How did you get used to live? And I need you to give some rate about the tolerant behavior between Korean and Indonesian, or Australian and Indonesian. Just it. Okay, thank you.
okay. Let me just start about the percentage of religions. Most of Koreans are atheists, so they don't have any religions. The first one is no religion. Second one was Buddhist, but Buddhists are only among elders, the elderly. And the third one was, and the third one is Christians and Catholics. Yeah, and Muslim was like the least. The way I get used to the totally new environment is just cherishing the moment. Yeah, I told all the participants earlier, because this is the country that I was and am dreaming of. So once I stepped on this country, I cherish every moment and higher the level of your tolerance. So for every like bad experience, just accept the way it is. I hope it answers your question. Ms. Nina?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Pak Rizky. In Australia, I think it's quite the same. Australia is very secular country, very secular. So I think I read somewhere that more than 50% they claim no religion. And in terms of religion, I think the biggest one, it's like only less than 20%. The biggest portion is Christianity. And, you know, I think we all know that in Christianity, there are many types as well. So it's all Christianity. It's like 19% or so. And I showed you earlier that Muslim is 6 point something percent. And the other religions, it's all the religions in the world, because as I said before, Sydney is so multicultural. You even have like the religion that maybe back in their home country, it's like they're almost extinct. Like, you know, I try to remember this religion in Iran before Iran becomes Islam and Shia Islam. There was this religion, and I really cannot remember, but we have that religion here. So you see, so that's how multicultural it is, Sydney, because it's open to everyone and it's open to anything, really, anything. So I mean, when Pak Rizky mentioned a lot of this gay club and those kind of things, so here in Sydney, it's also open. So it's like both ways, this multiculturalism, this openness and tolerance. It open to you, it's open to them too. So it's open to everyone. And that's how they thrive here, really.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. One of the experience like from last year, it was during Eid al-Fitr because all the clubs on the way here, I show you all the clubs. They started like operating from 11 p.m. or 12 in the midnight until 6 p.m. in the morning, and then they just finished like clubbing. Some of them are drunk, and Muslims are they're going down. They're going down, and Muslims were going up for this mosque. So it's like they're meeting one another in a perfect encounter. They're seeing one another because all of the Muslims were wearing the best costumes, right, for a prayer, and they're also wearing the best costume for the club. So the street was like inundated or full of people. Okay, on the right side are Muslims going upstairs. On the left side, they're like the non-Muslims, night party goers going down. So,
That kind of contrast, I think we can see it quite clearly, and it's around us, all around us here. Like the other day, I also experienced this. It's not about Muslim and Eid al-Fitr, but this is like the Palestinian demonstration, and just right next to it, it was the Israeli supporters, which is like almost like what is it? Yeah, it's like in this floor, it's the Israeli people, and the next floor is the people and supporters of the Palestinian, and it's like, wow, okay, like, police are everywhere, but you know that kind of contrast, which we would never see it in Indonesia, but I was quite amazed at how peaceful it was, okay, and how everyone get to express their their belief, their opinion, and I think that that's like a form of mature tolerance, don't you think?
yeah. Nabila, I think I read the same question about food, pork, and things. I think that's interesting to discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, we have another participant who raised hand.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. Can we go to the participant?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay. For Ayasa Putri, you can introduce yourself, and continue with your question. Okay, for Ayasa. Okay.
Okay.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we
Oh,
can
yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
Okay, Ayasa.
Okay, my name is Ayasha Putri Nugroho. I'm from Mandua, Kota Malang. And I'm just curious. In South Korea, when Ramadan came, it's winter right now. But is it always winter, and what about Sydney? Is it like also winter? Because if it's summer, it's kind of torture. Thank you.
All right, so let me start. Here it's winter, but it's not always winter because like couple years back, it was during summer. Oh, sorry, it was during spring. It's still okay. It's still breezy. It's still cool, chill. But when winter, the challenge is like hunger. But when it is summer, it's like super hot, and the durations of the fasting is like even longer than in Indonesia. So that's also a challenge. But luckily, this year it's the end of winter, so approximately it is 15 hours for fasting for me. So it's not a problem, but just starving because it's cold. Nina.
Thank you. At the moment, we started this year, we started Ramadan like maybe 2 weeks after summer. So as we enter autumn here, so the days are still long. So everyone, I am in Australia, and Australia is the southern hemisphere. So when Pak Rizki is having winter, I experience summer.
Yes.
So we're in two different worlds here. So here, I remember 10 years ago, like 11 years ago, when I first arrived in Adelaide, I experienced Ramadan during winter. But then you know that Ramadan is observing the lunar calendar, and so every year there will be 10 years.
Changes.
Yeah, there is difference, and so it's moving throughout the year, and now it's approaching summer here in the southern hemisphere. Yeah, in Australia, in New Zealand, for example, in Brazil, you know, the countries that are in the southern hemisphere, it's approaching, going to the direction of summer, but now it's still in autumn or in fall. Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay, does that answer your question, Ayasha?
Yes,
Yes,
I
thank
hope
you.
so.
Okay, thank you for the question. And because we have a limited time for this Q&A session, for the question for the participant who put the question in the chat box, we will forward the question to Mr. Rizki and Ma'am Nina, and the answer will be forwarded in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Nina and Mr. Rizki, for the answer. And after this Q&A session, we will have documentation. Okay, for the committee, please help for the documentation. And for the participant, you can give the best of your smile. And you can turn on your camera.
Pak Jarum, you're still clear.
Okay, next slide. You can open your camera.
Saya masih nata seragam saya ini. Biar kelihatan
very nice.
Esa Progresio ini.
Yeah,
Next
Esa
slide.
Progresio. My background
Yes.
is like
Okay.
mosque, Seoul Central Mosque.
Mantap Pak Rizki. Pas ini momennya ini. Ayo Pak apa ini?
Pak Pri.
Pak Pri lagi.
Yeah, Pak Jarum. There's a lot of participants. There's a lot of slides.
250, amazing. English language education
141.
department.
Okay. Okay, thank you for Pak Pri for the documentation. And then reminder to all participants, don't forget to fill the attendance link by filling in your full name and title, if any, and active email to get an e-certificate. So once more, you need to make sure you have put your full name and title, if any, and your active email to get the e-certificate. So if you fill the link correctly, the e-certificate will be directly sent to your email. And the committee will not send the attendance link on WhatsApp group. So we will wait for you in this maybe 7 minutes until 2:40. You can fill the attendance link. And you can send an emoticon on the chat box or give any reaction if you have received the e-certificate in your email. Okay. The link is on the chat box.
Perfect. So Nabila, Ms. Agista already sent me some unanswered questions, so I will like type later and send it to Ms. Agista, right, to forward to like the participants. So I hope I can like cater all questions.
Yes, Mr. Rizki. Thank you for that. Okay, for the participants, you can fill the attendance link and make sure you put the email correctly for that.
Thank you very much, Pak Rizki. Bu Nina.
Pak Jarum, my pleasure to share.
Thank you
and
for
live
having
report.
me.
I think it's time for Bu Nina to
prepare to cook
for iftar, ya.
It's 20 minutes from now, Pak.
20 minutes.
Pak Jarum, plan your visit here to Seoul with Pak Prihadi.
Inshallah, ya, inshallah. It depends on Bu Rafika.
Pak Jarum, it's just an hour. Pak Jarum, it's just an hour flight from Tokyo, Pak Jarum, to
from
Seoul.
Tokyo. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's only 1 hour.
Yeah, because
from
once
Tokyo.
I fly to Korea also 1 hour from Nagoya.
Yeah, it's only 1 hour from Nagoya to Seoul. And Bu Nina is planning to visit me for conference this August.
Oh, that is fair. I have to announce that.
Yeah, I'm so excited, Nina, to welcome you.
Let's hope that it's really true then. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for the students of SMA, Bu Nina and Pak Rizki, yeah. They need to
Yeah, Pak
explore
beasiswa.
the world
Ah,
and they need
yeah.
maybe they need to know about how to get scholarship.
Hmm.
We can
And
also we can talk, yeah, we can discuss in this forum, I think, through our
yeah.
WhatsApp group. Yeah. They can also ask
And then we can have like
Nina, they ask Pak Rizki, Pak Alimin, yeah, about scholarships.
yeah.
And also we provide information about the scholarship. You can also ask English education department if you want to get scholarship. So you are free to talk, yeah. You are free to ask questions to us.
So we are waiting for the participants to get all the certificates, right? That's amazing. Congratulations, ELED. You have like so many participants within 1 week.
Or maybe if Pak Rizki is still here and you want to share about your experience with pork, I mean, there are quite a few questions.
Yeah. So one of the challenges about pork in Korea is like really pork-based country. Yeah, so the first thing is we need to be familiar with some of the words, Korean words for pork. So before like buying, then we need to do like checking. They're like really open in the ingredients behind like every wraps of the food. So just refer to it if it is not there, and we need to double check because there is also an information about cross contamination. Yeah, in the main ingredient there is no pork, but above it, it is hidden. Normally, it's telling that this food is produced in the same factory as pork item. So if you were really strict about pork contamination, then you wouldn't eat anything. So for me, if as long as it's not on the main ingredient, then I'll get it. Yeah, that's it. But if it is like they're produced in the same factory, so we don't have to worry on whatever we do not see. Yeah, as long as it is not pork. And also there is an issue of halal things, whether the meats are slaughtered in the name of Allah or not. So yeah, some other students, Indonesian students, are also separated into two different groups. The first one is like those who are like really strict and they should get like really halal certification. But the other one, as long as it is like chicken, beef, lamb, then wish basmala before eating. So that's actually, for me, I'm choosing the second one. I'm the latter. As long as it is not pork, then I will eat and wish basmala before eating. Yeah, otherwise it's really difficult to survive in non-Muslim country. So that's one of the challenges, but it's going to be like a life story to experience in the future. I'm not going to live here like forever. So it's a matter of survival. What about Kunina? Are you really picky?
It's more or less the same, but I'm on the same boat with you. I'm on the same page as you. But yeah, I think one of the privilege living here is that we get to know we get to know these people, and it's like ground up. There is that division about how strict you are with in terms of halal certification. In Sydney, I think there are quite an option. Some people really choose the halal certificate, and some restaurants which claim halal, they display their halal certificate from ANIC, which is Australian MUI. But you know that the option it's quite a few, and so you have to work harder. For example, go further just to access them, and then there are also the ones that is okay as long as it is not pork, then Yeah,
Yes.
that's okay. Bismillah.
Really hope that everyone here can visit one another, Bunina. You can visit me, I can visit you, and all like the participant also can visit me here in Korea. And also you can go to Sydney to experience.
Okay, because it's already 2:41. Okay, the participant already filled the attendance link. And have a little announcement. Don't forget to check our Instagram and TikTok for another wonderful event only on at ELED. And also for the participant, please do not leave the WhatsApp group because we will have some event in the second week of May. Okay, thank you for Mr. Rizki, Ma'am Nina, for this awesome sharing. And then let's close this afternoon's event with saying Hamdalah together.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thank you everyone. Pak
Have a
Jarum.
nice
Pak
day.
Jarum, if you still
Wassalamualaikum